So joining us now from Vancouver is Bill Tieleman, political columnist with 24 Hours newspaper and the Tyee magazine, and in Victoria's political consultant, Michael Geoghegan. Gentlemen, what do you make of my surmise about folks on the left coast? They don't like being told what to do. Is this correct? Bill, let's start with you.
Yeah, Dan, you're absolutely right. We not only have no snow here in Vancouver, we have no leadership either. So it's sort of a wild situation. We've actually got both major parties now have lame duck leaders who are going to be replaced early in the new year. So we're going to have almost simultaneous leadership campaigns, and it's going to be quite a wild situation. It's been blood sport since early October, and I'll tell you, I've worn out the word unprecedented.
Michael.
Well, yeah, we certainly are in unprecedented times, and one of the things that's happened is the message has been sent loud and clear. The public really hates one man or government or one woman opposition. They want their MLAs to be allowed to do their jobs, and the message that's now being delivered is if you don't let MLAs do their jobs, sooner or later those MLAs are going to kick you out of your job as leader. And the other thing to keep in mind, in the last election, the first independent, Vicky Huntington, was elected in 60 years. There's a former New Democrat MLA, Bob Simpson, who's now declared himself as an MLA. There are now 4 independent MLAs sitting in the BC legislature, and there's a real groundswell of people who are saying unless political parties can learn to let MLAs do their jobs in terms of representing their constituents and having actually representative democracy and not one-person dictatorship, then people are prepared to bolt from parties and start supporting independent candidates. A revolutionary concept in Canada, to be sure, but one that seems to be underway here in BC.
Well, certainly in Ottawa and in most of the provinces across the country, it's called party politics for a reason. If you want to run for office, you've got to kowtow to the party. And then if you do get elected, you have to do what you were told by the party. It's generally recognized as part of the democratic deficit in this country. Why are you folks in BC different? I mean, how is it that you don't kowtow?
Well, there's a whole history in British Columbia, Dan, of populism and revolts and rebellion, mostly against Ottawa, but certainly against other authority figures here. And we also have some interesting legislation that's unique in Canada, sort of a direct democracy legislation. We had the Citizens Initiative against the harmonized sales tax, which collected over 700,000 signatures, led by former Premier Bill Vander Zalm. And also we've got recall legislation, and there's now a recall going on against a Victoria Liberal cabinet minister, Ida Chung, who could be removed from office if 40% of voters in her riding sign a petition over the next 60 days to take her out, and then there would be a forced by-election. So again, both those things are completely unique in British Columbia, and I think everybody else will be watching. I think established politicians all over the rest of the country have got to be very nervous that their voters will start saying, hey, I want recall too, I want direct initiatives too.
Is there at all a movement in British Columbia to have elected MLAs elect a leader once they get to the legislature?
Well,
Go back to the old days.
I think, well, yeah, and I think what is happening is notwithstanding political party constitutions, because as I say, you know, political parties are a chimera when it comes to parliaments. They don't exist in reality. It's all about, you know, a group of MLAs getting together. The largest group, you know, if they've got a majority, their leader is the Prime Minister or the Premier. The next biggest group is the opposition, and if there's a third grouping, they're the loyal opposition. So in reality, in terms of parliamentary law, it's all about the size of your caucus. And the other thing about British Columbia is we didn't have formal party politics until 1913. That's less than 100 years ago. So this was the last holdout in Confederation against party politics. And yeah, I think the lesson that has come home here is that MLAs are tired of being told once they have fought tooth and nail to get elected that now is the time to sit down, shut up, and let some acne-riddled young political staffer tell you what you're going to say. I mean, it's just something that a lot of these people are completely fed up with.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Go ahead, Dan.
You know, we're down to a minute left, guys. Handicap the race for next Premier of BC. It got a little bit of a shot of glamour today, huh?
Christy Clark certainly is high profile. I don't think she's got much support in the caucus. Unfortunately for her, she's only got one MLA backing her, and that's probably not going to be enough to do it. But it's going to be an exciting race, and then we'll see who the NDP candidates are. So it's just pure heaven for political junkies here.
I think George Abbott is going to be stronger than people expected, and I think it may turn out to be a three-way race. I think at the end of the day, it may come down to, I think it'll come down to between Kevin Falcon and Christy Clark, depending on where George Abbott supporters go.
Gentlemen, nice to see you. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks,
Thank
Dan.
you.